Hey, so this is a continuation. It's now turning into a three-part series where we're talking with Deborah, my sister, who knows a lot about this because she's been on the board and still is on the board of a number of these companies that produce products, including dog foods. So we thought, we've talked about commercial foods that you're going to buy. Specifically, the last two were on poultry-based dry foods. And then we looked at expensive ones and we looked at cheap ones, and we made a comparison on the label so you get an idea about what it looks. So now let's talk about raw foods, because I get a lot of people saying, should I be feeding you raw food? And so we're going to have a general conversation about this. Now, neither of us have fed raw foods, well, except for treats that we give our dogs. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about what dogs need, how they might get that from raw foods, and what the good and the bad of it is.
Yep.
So one of the things that you see on all the sites, if you look at this, they say, well, go talk to your veterinarian. What do you think about that?
Vets don't get much education.
My veterinarian's £350. So I know they don't know much about diet. No, that's not even true. They're not £350. But the point here is that
they don't get it in vet school. They get one course, and that one course is paid for by Science Diet.
Okay,
there you go.
Right,
it's sponsored by Science Diet. Every vet school.
I see that in all the vets, by the way. There's always the thing of Science Diet, because they've been great at marketing their product,
well,
haven't they?
So Science Diet gives them a starter kit when they start out as a vet. Here's a whole kit of a range of products for dogs. And
we're not bashing Science Diet.
No,
I think the Science Diet generally is probably
it's a
mid-range product from a reliable company. But the conversation here is, do vets know about diet? And the answer is, of course, there's some that are specifically geared and trained about diet, but they're far and few between, and it's unlikely that you're going to have any of that expertise on your front doorstep.
Yeah, what I would say is do your own research on this one.
Right.
And your vet, you can talk to your vet about does your dog need to lose weight? Do you need a weight-based diet?
Right.
Because if you want to do that, for example, grain-free is pretty good for a dog, just like it is for humans.
So
cut
yes.
out all the bread.
So one of the things here is you're not going to tell us specific ratios of things, because it does vary by age of dog, activity level of dog, whether it's got some medical issues, itching, allergies, whatever else. So we're not talking specifically about how we're going to break this up.
But we were going to talk about raw dog food.
Well,
so let's go there.
Okay.
You want to go there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And James mentioned neither of us have been feeding raw dog food.
And I don't eat raw meat myself.
Well, and
for
that's
a reason.
Probably the point.
For a reason.
So one of the problems with raw dog food is that it can and does get salmonella in it.
Especially chicken.
And so safe handling is pretty key.
So the salmonella is not a problem for the dog.
No, it's not.
Because dogs are set up evolutionary-wise for the last 100,000 years have been catching birds and eating them whole, feathers and all.
Right.
Without any problem.
But you and your family might not want salmonella.
So this is the problem. If you've got raw food, would be the handling part of this.
Right.
So if it's in a refrigerator,
really
you want to go in containers that are sealed. You want to wash your hands. You've got to remember that anytime that you've handled these products, that you'll have small traces of that on your surfaces and on your hands and on your utensils that needs to be washed properly. Otherwise,
soap and hot water
could get in trouble. All right. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the first thing. That's one of the reasons why I haven't, and it's a bit of a hassle.
That's the reason why we don't do it. Right. Is because it is it's hard enough to cook meals for us, let alone have to do it's so easy to open a bag of dried quality dog food.
But I'm not against raw foods, to be clear. For somebody who's willing to do with all that stuff, it's a pretty healthy diet. It's kind of closer to the evolutionary core of the animal.
I would think that if you know how to do it properly, that you can't beat a raw diet. The problem is that most of us are not going to know what the right ratio is. We probably give too much meat.
Thank you. So that's one
high
point
protein.
Is too much meat and not enough veggies, because they are omnivores, not carnivores.
Yes.
And so you've got to do, chopped up carrots and some potatoes or something with some...
So let's talk about the particular ingredients that you think would be great versus the ones that you think would be not good. So meats,
look, if every dog... So here's the interesting thing. Dogs are allergic to... Every dog is different.
Yeah.
Lots of dogs are allergic to chicken, as an example.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you take chicken out and you put them on a lamb diet or something, and all that itching
or a fish
goes
diet
away.
or whatever. Yeah.
You just don't know until you try stuff. And one of the ways, by the way, to figure that out, if you've got a dog that's itching a lot, is just put them on an elimination diet. Either doing it yourself, cooking for them. So a basic rice and beans type of thing. I don't mean rice and beans. I mean beef and beans.
I'm going to turn that volume down. So let's keep on talking.
Yep, sure. So go with the. We've got a little bit of noise going on in the background because Granny's checking out the TV in the other room. So back to the mix of what to feed. So do a basic rice, white rice, not too much in it. Add maybe some chicken unless you think chicken's the issue, in which case you could use beef or something else.
So you're talking about the basic bland elimination diet.
Yeah.
So if you went with boiled rice and chicken and you still had a problem, then you try beef and rice.
Right.
Because rice almost is fine?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Rice is pretty much, there are very few dogs that are allergic to rice.
Okay.
And
but then
white rice. So but let's just talk about that for a minute. White rice versus brown rice. Right?
Yes.
Everybody says, I should have brown rice because it's healthier, because it's got the external husk of the rice. The white rice is just the very inner piece of the rice.
Yes, right.
And it's got nothing in it that's particularly allergenic. Whereas the husk and everything else, which has got all the healthy sort of vitamins and minerals in it, can cause problems. So you start with white rice, basic, just basic food. And you can do that through a simple diet you can research online. You can get kibble that is elimination. Like, Wellness used to have, and I think still has, something called simple, I forget what it's called now. Anyway, simple diet.
Getting old.
Getting old, I know. You know what?
Good diet, apparently. You need to. What's the stuff that you get? Eukanugan, or what's the stuff that they sell that they think that you can?
I used to eat the dog food, just so you know.
Me too. Hey, every single dog food I've ever fed, I've popped a piece in my mouth.
Yep. Sure.
People look at you like
treats.
you're crazy, and it's like, no, it's like most
know
of them are very
what's in it.
bland.
Right.
But I'd like to know what. And here's the other part about this. Dogs, I don't know what their sense of smell and taste is, but it's probably 1,000 times more than what ours is. And it's really a shame that they can't be, getting lobster and stuff like that. Okay,
well,
so,
they might in your household. He can afford it.
Yeah, whatever. But I think the point you're making here is, if you're going to do an elimination diet, don't put very many ingredients in it, because you're trying to eliminate. So you're trying to start from fixing the problem, and then you can start adding. So get as simple as you can, which is basically a protein and a starch.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
All right, so anyway, back to raw foods. So I actually think raw foods are fine as long as you're willing to deal with a handling issue. It's worth remembering that when a dog is in the wild and it's eating something, it's raw, but it's warm.
Okay.
Right? And it's completely fresh. It's not been sitting in a fridge or a freezer. So even these raw diets that you buy, I'd say, are not exactly, natural.
Yeah, so let's talk for a moment about meat. For instance, hamburger meat. Why do we not have medium rare hamburgers? And the reason for that is that the outside surface of the meat has been contaminated because it's been out. The inside is completely sterile. So the moment you chop it up, you take the sterile part and you mix it up with the unsterile part on the outside. So you have to cook it to 165 degrees. In the wild, it's not a problem because the dog is consuming that animal before any bacteria can really get going.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, we've probably said enough on raw diets, you think?
I was going to say something else about it, and no. This is a great thing you said.
What about at-home diets?
That was it exactly. Okay. So you were saying, look, I was saying it's such a big hassle to cook this food and get it ready. What Debbie then said was, well, look, if you're cooking a nice meal for yourself and the kids, make one more meal.
Yeah, just add a portion.
Just add a portion. If you want to
eat the same as you can,
they'll love it.
The only thing is, you may just end up with a fussy dog who's never going to eat the kibble again. So you've got to decide if you're willing to do that.
Yeah, I think this is a bit cruel in a way. It's It's like, I'm going to show you Nirvana and now I'm going to close the door.
That's pretty much it. Right.
If you're going to go down this road, you're going down this road.
Yeah.
And,
a lot of people are already down that road.
Well, you start feeding treats, what happens?
Yeah,
the dog wants
thing.
the treats and doesn't want other stuff. And then furthermore, it's begging at the damn table all the time. It's just not doing what you want it to do. So just, you've got to decide whether, my guess is if you were going to cook another meal at the table that was going to be for the dog, it would be less expensive than going buying one of these raw meals that you can buy online.
Raw diets are not cheap.
Yep. And so I think that it's fine. Right.
If you just say, I'm going to feed the dog at mealtime, same time as us.
But you wouldn't give it the apple pie and ice cream at the end of it. Seriously, you wouldn't, would you?
I don't know, somebody might.
Yeah, well,
they can eat apples.
That's right.
They can eat cream. They shouldn't have too much sugar. And the apple pie's got a ton of sugar in it, but honestly,
same problem with us.
Be eating it either.
Right. So there you go. So well, then, can you think there are some foods, by the way, that are toxic to dogs? And I can't even think what the heck they are.
Don't give them chocolate.
Yes. Yeah. So that's a great one. So there's theobromines and things like that that are in chocolate that are we're doing a video here. We're doing a video here. So there are.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Tammy just came with food. So she's coming with our raw diet for us. But okay, I think that's enough of that one. What's the next one going to be?
I don't know.
All right. Hey, thanks for watching.
Bye.
Watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.